You want to hear something really fascinating?
Sure. In the Chilean desert, the Inca Empire were building upon roads that went all across South America. And these roads, foundations weren't laid by the Inca. They may have been improved by the Inca, but they go back to the Wari Empire, which predates the Inca, and it almost certainly goes back further than this. The southernmost point of these highways goes off into the Chilean desert. And for a long time, it's been a mystery of what the heck are these Peruvians doing down in the Chilean desert. There are these acid deposits that are down in that desert. Those roads go down there because they are mining and collecting the acids, and they're bringing them back, and they're softening the outside of the stone.
For centuries, we've been told it was built by the Inca. But what if that's only half the story? What if the real builders came long before a lost civilization with technology we can't even begin to understand?
Also, all those cities, like the one in Peru.
Oh, yeah, Machu Picchu. The wackiest theory I heard was that used to be at the base of water, and that everything out in front of that was all water.
Yeah.
That might be just a wacky theory, but if it's not, how did they do that? They made them so they're all like kind of jigsaw pieces, and they all slide right into each other, and they're fucking enormous.
And they're perfectly fit together.
Yeah.
It's not just like random, like fill in with mortar. No.
These guys are artists and engineers and wizards. Like, how the fuck did they do that?
Nestled high in the Andes Mountains of Peru, in the heart of the Sacred Valley, lies one of the world's most compelling archaeological sites, Ollantaytambo. While many visitors see it primarily as an Incan fortress, a deeper look reveals a profound and enduring mystery, one that challenges our understanding of ancient history and technology. The site is a complex tapestry of cultures and construction styles, with layers of history carved into its very stones. But the most striking aspect, and the one that has baffled archaeologists and engineers for decades, is the megalithic stonework found here. Ollantaytambo's stones are renowned for their quality and precision. They are not simply rocks stacked one on top of the other. They are colossal blocks of pink granite, each weighing anywhere from 50 to 70 tons, fitted together with an almost impossible level of accuracy. The joints between these massive slabs are so tight that it's often said a razor blade can't pass through them. This level of precision is remarkable enough on its own, but what makes it truly extraordinary is the complete absence of mortar or any other binding agent. The builders relied solely on the perfect alignment and immense weight of the stones to create a structure that has withstood centuries of seismic activity in one of the world's most earthquake-prone regions. To fully appreciate the scale of this achievement, you have to consider the logistics. These huge pink granite blocks were not sourced from a nearby quarry. The quarry is located miles away on a mountain on the other side of the Urubamba River Valley. This presents a monumental engineering puzzle. How were these 50-70-ton stones moved from their source across a river and then transported up a steep mountain to their final resting place? There is no evidence of roads, pulleys, or even the wheel being used for such a task by the civilizations believed to have been present at the time. The sheer effort and ingenuity required to complete such a feat, even with modern technology, would be immense. And yet, there they stand, a silent testament to a forgotten capability. The conventional historical narrative attributes the construction of Ollantaytambo to the Inca Empire in the 15th century. The Inca were undoubtedly brilliant builders, engineers, and strategists. Their stonework, seen in other famous sites like Machu Picchu, is celebrated for its polygonal style and seismic resistance. However, the stones at Ollantaytambo, particularly those at the Temple of the Sun, are of a different league. They are cut with a precision and a finesse that simply doesn't align with the tools the Inca are known to have used. The Inca worked with bronze chisels and stone hammers. While they were masters of their craft, these tools are not capable of shaping hard granite with the kind of smooth, flat surfaces and perfect 90-degree angles seen at Ollantaytambo. The difference in quality between the megalithic core and the surrounding Incan construction is so stark, it's as if two entirely different civilizations built on the same site. Beyond the perfect joints and massive scale, a closer examination of the stones reveals even more perplexing details. Many of the blocks bear strange, scoop-like impressions on their surfaces. These marks are not the result of chipping or hammering. They look as though the stone was softened or even melted and then molded or scooped away. This is not something that can be achieved with hand tools. It implies a knowledge of material manipulation that seems far beyond the Bronze Age. Modern science can't replicate these marks on such a scale without sophisticated high-tech equipment and a lot of energy. Yet, the evidence is etched into the stone, suggesting a process we don't understand was used to shape them. The Temple of the Sun itself is the focal point of this mystery. Its 6 monolithic slabs stand as the centerpiece of the structure, each one a testament to the unknown builder's skill. The precision extends beyond just the faces of the stones. Some blocks have symmetrical cuts and crisscrossed patterns, almost as if a high-speed saw or laser was used to shape them. These features are not isolated to Ollantaytambo. They are found at other ancient sites around the world, from the massive blocks at Baalbek in Lebanon to the precision stonework in Egypt and even Japan. The similarities in construction style, including the gigantic size of the stones, the seamless joints, and even mysterious knobs protruding from some blocks, suggest a potential global connection between these ancient sites. It raises a fascinating and, for many, unsettling question. Were these structures built by a single, forgotten civilization with a global reach and an advanced understanding of engineering and materials science? Or have we severely underestimated the capabilities of ancient people? The sheer logistical challenge of moving and placing these stones, combined with the inexplicable tool marks, forces us to reevaluate our historical timeline. The official narrative, which places the construction firmly in the Incan period, simply cannot account for the physical evidence. The megalithic foundation, with its perfect stonework and impossible engineering, seems to belong to a much older time. It's not an insult to the genius of the Inca to suggest that they were the inheritors of this site, not its originators. Their own stonework, though impressive, pales in comparison to the monolithic core. Many of the megalithic stones they attempted to move for their own construction projects still lie scattered across the site, abandoned mid-effort. This fact alone speaks volumes about the limitations they faced and the superior knowledge of the original builders. Ollantaytambo, therefore, is not just a historical site. It is a paradox, a puzzle carved into the Andes. It is a place where history's layers are literally stacked on top of each other, one era building on the foundations of another. The megalithic structures whisper of a forgotten civilization, one capable of feats we still struggle to comprehend today. It challenges everything we think we know about the capabilities of ancient people and demands a second look, a reevaluation of the past based on the physical evidence that stands before us. The stones themselves are the most powerful argument, a silent language that tells a story far older and far stranger than any history book. After introducing the central mystery of Ollantaytambo, this part of the script will now focus on the specific evidence of advanced or lost technology found at the site, written in a neutral, fact-based, and human-sounding tone. As we wander deeper into the ancient site of Ollantaytambo, the evidence for a lost technology becomes even more compelling. The megalithic structures that captured our attention from a distance reveal their secrets up close, and the contrast with other parts of the site becomes stark and undeniable. Behind the immaculate walls of the main complex, you'll find sections of far rougher, less precise construction. This difference is so striking that it immediately raises questions about who built what and when. The primitive, uneven stonework, which is likely the work of the Inca, pales in comparison to the seamless polygonal stones of the main walls. It's as if two very different civilizations, with two very different levels of technological skill, worked on the same project. One had basic tools and a strong sense of practicality, while the other possessed a mastery of stone beyond anything we can currently explain. Look closer at the massive granite blocks, and you'll see a series of anomalies that defy simple explanation. Some stones have strange, scoop-like impressions on their surfaces. These aren't the kind of marks left by a chisel or a hammer. They look as though the rock was once soft, and was then molded by hand or with some kind of tool. The marks aren't random. They follow specific patterns, almost like fingerprints left by a machine or a specialized process. In some cases, the stones exhibit perfectly smooth, almost glassy surfaces, something that doesn't occur naturally and certainly cannot be achieved with the stone hammers and bronze chisels the Inca used. A person working with such primitive tools would leave behind a much rougher, more uneven finish. The glassy surfaces suggest a process involving intense heat or some form of friction-based technology that we do not have an ancient parallel for. Even more fascinating are the signs of precision cutting. On one stone, there appears to be a clean, narrow cut running through solid granite, as if a thin blade sliced through it with ease. This kind of cut is difficult to make even with modern diamond saws, especially on such a hard material. Other stones show evidence of core drill holes, uniform circular indentations carved deep into the rock. These are the kinds of marks left by high-speed drills, not hand tools. The uniformity and depth of these holes suggest a mechanized process, not a laborious manual one. We have no historical record of any ancient culture in the Andes, or anywhere else, for that matter, possessing tools like this. It begs the question, what kind of culture had the ability to manufacture and use such equipment? The evidence doesn't stop with the stones themselves. Etched into the bedrock surrounding the site is a mysterious pattern, a symmetrical crisscross grid of shallow channels. The cuts are intricate and clean, carved directly into the hard andesite rock. How could such a precise pattern be carved with primitive tools? And why? Was it decorative? Was it symbolic? Or was it part of a forgotten machine or industrial process? This anomaly, like so many others at Ollantaytambo, doesn't fit into the established historical narrative. Mainstream archaeologists often attribute these features to centuries of erosion or natural phenomena, but when you see the clean lines and symmetrical nature of these cuts, it becomes increasingly difficult to accept such an explanation. The physical evidence points to a much more deliberate and technological origin. These anomalies are not isolated to Ollantaytambo. They echo across ancient sites worldwide, from the perfect polygonal stonework at Tiwanaku in Bolivia to the massive precisely cut blocks at Giza in Egypt. The strange knobs protruding from some of the stones at Ollantaytambo are found on megalithic blocks in places like Japan and Easter Island. This global distribution of similar construction styles and strange marks hints at a deeper, lost layer of human history. It suggests that there might have been a global civilization, or at least a shared body of knowledge that existed long before the cultures we know today. The fact that these sites, separated by vast oceans and millennia, share so many inexplicable features is a powerful argument for a re-evaluation of our past. The presence of a second, more primitive building style at Ollantaytambo actually serves to highlight the advanced nature of the earlier stonework. The rough, uneven stones of the later Incan walls make the seamless, perfectly fitted stones of the megalithic core seem even more miraculous by comparison. It shows a clear and undeniable gap in technological ability. The Inca were brilliant, but they were working within the limits of their tools and their time. The original builders, however, were operating on an entirely different level. Their work is a testament to a kind of engineering and material science that we are only now beginning to understand. Ollantaytambo isn't just an Incan fortress, it's a gallery of impossible engineering, a library of lost knowledge written in stone. Each mark, each cut, each perfectly fitted block raises one question louder than all the others. What did the ancients know that we have forgotten? The evidence challenges the very foundation of our understanding of human history and technological progress. We've been taught that ancient people were primitive and that technological progress is a straight line always moving forward. But the stones of Ollantaytambo tell a different story. They speak of a rise, a fall, and a rediscovery, a story of knowledge gained and then lost to the slow march of time. Until we can explain these anomalies, until we can replicate these feats with the tools the Inca possessed, the stones will continue to stand as a monument to a past we don't fully comprehend. They demand that we look deeper, question more, and open our minds to the possibility that our history is far more complex and far more mysterious than we ever imagined. I will structure the response to cover these points in a cohesive and detailed manner, ensuring the word count is met while maintaining the specified tone and style. I will elaborate on the various Incan contributions to the site, providing specific examples to build a rich and detailed picture, and then draw a clear comparison to the earlier stonework to reinforce the central theme. I will also make sure to not use any bold or cursive formatting and to avoid any title. While the megalithic structures at Ollantaytambo spark endless theories of lost civilizations and ancient technology, it would be a significant oversight to ignore the genius of the Inca people themselves. When the Inca arrived at this mysterious site, they were faced with an already existing, awe-inspiring foundation. They didn't simply tear it down or dismiss it. They chose to integrate their own civilization structures and systems around it. They adapted, restored, and preserved what they could, using their own distinct techniques to create a functional and strategic complex that blended with the pre-existing foundations. This contrast between the two building styles is one of the most compelling aspects of Ollantaytambo, as it reveals just how advanced the earlier builders must have been. The Inca's contributions, though less precise in their stonework, were incredibly practical, innovative, and perfectly suited to their needs and environment. One of the most remarkable Inca achievements at Ollantaytambo was the construction of the agricultural terraces. Carved into the steep, unforgiving mountain slopes surrounding the fortress, these terraces, known as andanes in the Quechua language, transformed rugged terrain into highly productive farmland. This system was not just about creating flat space. It was a complex feat of engineering designed to manage water and prevent soil erosion. The terraces were supported by retaining walls of smaller, but still meticulously placed, stones, and they were connected by an intricate irrigation system. Water flowed through channels and aqueducts, which were balanced with such precision that they could provide consistent hydration to the crops while also preventing both flooding and drought. This type of hydraulic engineering was absolutely essential for sustaining a large population at high altitudes, and it is a testament to the Incas' deep understanding of their land and the challenging environment in which they lived. They were masters of sustainable agriculture and resource management. Beyond the terraces, the Inca also demonstrated their ingenuity in other aspects of their design. The strategic location of granaries and storehouses is a prime example. These structures were built high on the hillsides, where cooler temperatures and stronger winds helped to naturally preserve crops like maize and potatoes for long periods. This food security was a cornerstone of the Inca Empire's success, allowing them to support their military, their laborers, and their population through periods of hardship. The layout of the town below, with its ceremonial centers and watchtowers, reflects a strong strategic and spiritual vision. The Inca were brilliant planners, creating a site that served multiple functions: a fortress, a religious center, and a vital agricultural hub. Their genius was in seeing the potential of the site and adding to it in a way that was both practical and respectful of the original foundations. However, no matter how impressive the Inca achievements were, they were unable to replicate the stonework of the earlier builders. When you examine the site closely, you can see where the Inca attempted to repair or add to the megalithic core. Their repairs, though functional and well-made for their time, look crude in comparison to the flawless joins and precise cuts of the older stones. It's a stark visual lesson in technological difference. Many of the megalithic stones they attempted to move for their own construction still lie scattered and abandoned across the site, mid-effort. These massive, unfinished blocks are silent witnesses to the fact that the Inca simply did not have the tools or the knowledge to complete the work that had been started thousands of years before. The existence of these abandoned stones is perhaps one of the strongest pieces of evidence that two different eras of construction are represented at Ollantaytambo. The Inca were excellent masons, but the earlier builders were something else entirely. What we see at Ollantaytambo is a merging of two worlds, two distinct eras of knowledge and capability. On one hand, you have the visible genius of the Inca, their brilliant planning, their mastery of hydraulics, and their pragmatic approach to architecture. Their work is a testament to what a determined and organized civilization can achieve with the tools at their disposal. On the other hand, you have the silent mystery of a much older civilization whose work speaks of a level of technological and engineering sophistication that we can't fully comprehend. The immense stones, the impossible joins, the strange marks. These elements were already there when the Inca arrived. They were the inheritors of a site they revered and adapted, but could never fully replicate. Together, these two layers of history create a site unlike any other in the world, a place where the human story is carved into stone, layer by layer for all to see. Ollantaytambo serves as a humbling reminder that the path of human progress may not be as linear as we've always been taught, and that some knowledge may have been lost to time, only to be rediscovered in the layers of ancient ruins. Ollantaytambo stands as a powerful and enduring monument that defies simple explanations. It is more than just a relic of Inca greatness or another stop on a tourist map. It is a profound challenge to our understanding of ancient civilizations and the story of human history as we know it. The official narrative claims that the Inca, under Emperor Pachacuti in the 15th century, built the site. While they certainly made significant and impressive additions, the physical evidence tells a much more layered and complex story. It is a narrative where the Inca were the inheritors of a monumental legacy, not its originators. The sheer precision of the megalithic foundations, with their impossible engineering, strongly suggests that they predate the Inca by thousands of years. This distinction is not an insult to the Inca. It is an acknowledgement of two different worlds of knowledge and technology. The Inca were brilliant planners, engineers, and farmers, but they were working within the technological limits of their time. The builders who came before them, whose very name and history are lost to us, were operating on an entirely different level. Their work, with its flawless joins and monumental scale, stands in stark contrast to the rougher repairs and additions made during the Incan period. This visual evidence forces us to confront the possibility that history is far more complex than we've been taught to believe. The question is no longer simply what the Inca built, but rather what existed before them, and what knowledge did they possess. Some researchers propose that Ollantaytambo was originally built by a civilization that existed long before the Inca, possibly dating back to the end of the last ice age. This idea may sound radical, but the physical evidence at the site, from the unexplained tool marks to the logistical impossibility of moving the massive stones, challenges conventional explanations at every turn. Instead of dismissing these anomalies, perhaps it is time to reconsider our assumptions about the past. The notion that we have severely underestimated the capabilities of ancient people is a central theme at Ollantaytambo. The site urges us to question the linear model of human progress. The idea that our journey from primitive to modern has been a steady, uninterrupted upward climb. The stones tell a different story, one of rise, ruin, and rebirth. They speak of a story of knowledge gained and then forgotten, perhaps due to a global cataclysm, war, or simply the slow erosion of memory over millennia. This civilization, if it existed, might have possessed a type of advanced knowledge that we don't recognize today. We often measure progress by modern standards, electricity, machines, and digital systems. But what if there was another kind of advancement? One rooted in a deep understanding of stone manipulation, resonance, sound technology, or earth-lined architecture. The builders of Ollantaytambo didn't just stack rocks, they created structures that have stood for thousands of years without mortar, withstanding massive earthquakes, and the relentless march of time itself. That level of resilience and intelligence is not easily dismissed. Today, even with all our powerful tools and advanced technology, we still find it challenging to replicate many of the feats achieved at Ollantaytambo with the same efficiency or elegance. This humbling truth suggests that we have lost something vital along the way. We may have lost not only techniques, but an entire worldview, one that saw nature, energy, and structure as interconnected. The real mystery of Ollantaytambo isn't just who built it or how, it's why that knowledge was lost and what caused this civilizational amnesia. As explorers, researchers, and storytellers, Our role is not to impose modern explanations on a past we don't fully understand, but to ask better questions and to be willing to follow where the evidence leads, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. The legacy of Ollantaytambo is what makes it truly remarkable. It's not just what we see, but what might still lie hidden beneath the soil, under collapsed stones and inside untouched chambers. There may be secrets waiting to be uncovered that could rewrite everything we know about the ancient world. The presence of these half-buried megalithic blocks, some weighing over 50 tons, that appear abandoned mid-construction, are pieces of a story lost to time. Others have remained unmoved for thousands of years, too heavy for the Inca to transport, left behind as silent witnesses to an older time. Across the world, we find echoes of this story, with megalithic sites sharing similar construction styles, strange marks, and inexplicable engineering. If Ollantaytambo is part of a larger interconnected legacy of advanced ancient builders, then the full story of humanity might stretch back far further than we ever imagined. Ultimately, Ollantaytambo is a monument that transcends time itself. It bridges the known with the unknown, the recorded past with whispers of a forgotten age. With each carved block, it challenges the linear story of civilization and reminds us that the past is far deeper and far stranger than we ever imagined. The stones feel alive, holding precision that rivals modern machines, strength that has resisted centuries of erosion, and secrets no textbook can fully explain. They were not just placed for utility, they were shaped with intention, with purpose, and perhaps with knowledge we have yet to reclaim. Ollantaytambo forces us to reconsider the limitations we place on ancient cultures and invites us to question whether history, as we know it, is merely the surface of a much deeper story. A story of rise, fall, and rediscovery. Until science catches up with the stones, Ollantaytambo will remain one of humanity's greatest riddles, written in granite and still waiting to be solved. It stands as a powerful reminder that history may be far older and far more mysterious than we've been told. Each stone challenges conventional timelines and invites us to explore possibilities beyond mainstream narratives. The truth may lie just beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered. Until then, we must keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop seeking what was left behind.